Selection 1, Melbourne.
Jack Watts, Sandringham Dragons.
The pressure of a number one draft pick, it does come with a little bit of extra baggage, you know that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be obvious extra pressure from external sources, but yeah, won't worry about that too much.
I'm sure you'll add honour to this. It's a tough task, but I'm sure you'll have a really good go at doing it, and we hope you do.
Thank you very much.
I'm obviously very lucky. It's going to be a massive game, and hopefully, you know, I can just do my bit for the team.
And here's the roar in the crowd. That's Jack Watts, boys, with his first possession in AFL football, and there's 4 blokes on him.
We'll introduce you to AFL with the big sandwich tackle.
In just 7 days' time, it'll be 5 years since Jack Watts made his controversial debut on the Queen's birthday Monday holiday. It's been a controversial career. He joins us in the hot seat. Welcome to you, Jack.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's gone pretty quick.
It has, yeah, unbelievable. Sixth year in the league, and you know, it's been an interesting ride, but yeah, I've loved every minute.
It's great looking back, those skinny arms of yours. I'm told now that though you are really smashing it in the gym. Do you feel more confident?
Oh, I thought I stood up all right in that tackle there, Jared, but no, yeah, getting there in the gym and you know, working hard.
Jason said it took you 3 years to find it.
Jack, no, not quite.
There'll be 75,000 people, maybe more there on Monday. Are you ready for the big stage?
Yeah, I think.
Not you. I'm talking about the group.
As a team, yeah. I think we are. We've been crying out for this for years, but we haven't been ready, obviously. And I think with obviously a big revamp of the whole club this year, we're starting to understand what it's like to play real AFL footy, I guess, for the first time since I've been there. So, yeah, can't wait for next Monday. Should be great.
It's interesting, given the Paul Roos influence and the way that the club, I think, as a whole, has genuinely improved this year. Everyone would readily accept that, but if you put your finger on one thing that's actually helped the group turn the corner, what would it be?
For me, it's the team first sort of concept, and that's driven by the coaches, and which filters through. So, all the boys now, it's play your role, do the simple things. You don't have to go over and above, and I think in the past we've definitely fallen into that trap of guys thinking that they have to win the game themselves, whereas today's game is just do your role when it's your turn to go.
I remember last year watching an interview you did with Mike Sheehan about your time at Melbourne and whether or not you were going to stay. At that stage it looked as if the dark moments were overriding any bright moments. Just looking at you and looking at your eyes and looking at the smile on your face, that appears to have turned. Yeah, definitely. Last year I guess it was 4 years or 5 years I'd been there, and it was a pretty sort of helpless place, I guess. That's what it felt like. But certainly this year, even though I guess probably results, we're not setting the world on fire by any means. But in terms of the direction of the club and the way the boys are feeling, there's definite sort of good times ahead. Can I ask you about perhaps the darkest moment? Round 2, dragged from the ground. You felt the venom, I guess, of both Essendon and Melbourne selectors. It would have been a lonely place at that stage. How'd you deal with that? Yeah, that was a pretty dark time in your life, really, because that's a hard thing. Footy, it affects your life, and I guess for me it was trying to realise that your life is bigger than just the game of football. I've got a great group of mates, outside of footy, and a great family, and they're the sort of things that I guess you lean back on when those sort of times come. So that's what I did, and they're always there for me, sticking by me no matter what, and stay true to yourself, I guess. Roos has brought a number of trusted people with him. One of those is George Stone, a man that was with him at Sydney, spent many years at Hawthorn way back in my day. Yep. I know he works with you. What role does he play? Oh, well, he's obviously the midfield sort of coach, and Roosy's best mate, I guess. We never see those two apart. But Stoney's just been fantastic in terms of, I guess trying to bring that enjoyment back to footy, but also, trying to teach you the game. And he's got a wealth of knowledge for many years of success. Really, he's the Hawks and the Swans, and he's just a great
great human being, I guess. Great bloke, and love having him around. That's for sure.
Jack, you had a meeting, did you not, early this year with Joe Watson about particular pressures that applied to him when he was younger and to you more recently? What did you take from that?
Peter Jackson sort of set that up, and he sort of thought that we were similar sort of at similar sort of stages that Job had been at in the past, and that was awesome. He's a great guy, Job, and similar sort of things. He was saying that he was struggling to get a game at one stage, and the coach didn't like him, and too slow, and the media were on him, and he was sort of saying, he had his mates and his family and that kind of thing, and as long as you feel like you're doing everything you can, and
the criticism of you has been that you don't appear to work as hard as you should. Now, has that been fair?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's certainly magnified when you're in a team that hasn't won too many games, and I certainly, within myself, I feel like I work really hard. I'm getting a lot better at it. Definitely early days. I don't think too many people know how hard you have to work to become a good AFL player. Let alone a very good AFL player. But I think my teammates, my coaches, as long as they're happy with what I'm doing around the club, away from the club, on the field, then I'm pretty happy.
So if you had the benefit of hindsight and all the experience that you've picked up as you're heading into your 6th season, is there anything you would have done differently looking back?
Oh, it's pretty tough. There's probably a few things, but I wouldn't have changed a whole lot, Jace, to be honest.
It's all a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's all part of the journey, and I think, if I didn't go through those things and the hard things and getting told from your teammates certain areas to improve, then it wouldn't have happened. So I think stick to who you are.
Let me ask you about the number 1 draft tag. Do you cherish it or do you resent it? I mean, it's caused you some angst over the journey, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and that's the funny thing. If you were drafted as a rookie or a pick 50, then you never know. People might be saying I'm a good player then.
I think we're coming to that conclusion now. But there's a status attached to it, isn't there? I mean, it must have been nice at the time, but did it weigh you down?
Probably to an extent. I did my best to try and block it all out and listen to the people that I thought was important, but definitely if it's all over the news and all over the papers and everyone's talking about it all the time, it gets to you a little bit.
I'm interested in your assessment that if your coaches are happy and your teammates are happy, then you're happy. To me, your best is in top gear, you're 4th, but you've got this slipping clutch and you slip down, not to 3rd gear, but you slip down to 2nd gear. I'm wondering how you assess your own game, because you're the most important person, whether or not you're happy with where you're at and how far away you are from being that really good player.
Yeah, I think, and that's what we've worked on a lot this year with Roosie and Stoney, and when I have those moments out on the ground that are so obvious, that's where I get myself into trouble. And I think a lot of that happens when I'm stuffed, and because in the AFL game you get pretty tired at times, and so the last couple of weeks I've been working on sort of coming to the bench a bit more. Initially I was sort of probably coming to the bench once or twice per game. Last 4 weeks I think average has sort of been 7 or 8 rotations, which has really helped me because I'm sort of a bit more burst player, and in terms of endurance wise. So and then and then
it is starting to happen for you though. Games against Carlton, games against Richmond, you actually were given the opportunity to beat a man, and it's something that some players shy away from, but you seem happy with the ball in your hand when the pressure is on. You delivered the goals when they needed to be delivered, and this must have given you just some enormous self-reward.
Oh, definitely, and I think the interesting thing is, it happens in those games and it comes off well, and some games it doesn't. As long as you're putting that work in and working hard, and that's what Stoney and Roosie are so strong on, is just playing your role and doing those simple things, and then this kind of stuff will happen. But as long as I get those really obvious poor moments out of my game, then you don't put yourself up for that criticism, for that, So yeah, that's the main thing we're working on.
You've got a couple of good youngsters coming through as well. Jimmy Tumbas has been under a little bit of similar pressure to yourself, as are all high draft picks who aren't performing. There's another kid, Christian Salem, who produced a little bit of magic on the weekend. He seems to do this at least once a week. That is just a natural footballer if you've ever seen it. And a great camera shot too to see the eucalypt there in Indigenous round.
No, he's very clean, isn't he, Salem? He's, really strong body for such a young kid.
This was clever. Another young bloke, Jimmy Tumbas here.
Yep.
He calls the bloke to him and then chips it over. It's not, that's good decision making, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And those guys have been given an opportunity. Christian played first couple of weeks in the VFL and worked really hard, played some really good footy and got that form, and then comes in as a really high draft pick. But and I think that's the way the club's getting to is we're not relying on those youngsters coming through to lift us up. It's the core group of your playing group to burden the load, I guess, and those youngsters can come in and play a role.
5th anniversary. I don't think you would have beaten the Pies on Queen's birthday.
No. I think, did we have a draw?
Yeah, there was a draw.
Yeah.
There've been a couple of close ones.
No, it's a pretty exciting little matchup. And as you said, if we can get 75,000 there, that'll be the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. And the team, we're feeling pretty good, and huge challenge, but can't wait.
You must take great hope and encouragement from what you've seen Port Adelaide do. They beat you on the weekend, but you never know. You're not that far away, it would seem.
That's right. It's a funny game, isn't it? How quickly it can turn around, and we look at them as a great example of what can happen when you get your I guess your values as a team in the right spots. So
good luck Monday.
Thank you very much.
It's been a tough 5 years. It's the next 5, I reckon, are going to be a lot more rewarding. Good luck and thanks for coming in.
Thanks very much.
Jack Watts, he's our special guest. Plenty more to come straight after this on The Couch.